Action! Hello and welcome to episode 371 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films to TV to documentary and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to royally F it up. In our very, very humble opinion, today I am delighted to welcome on the show Femme directors Sam Freeman and Choon. They are the BAFTA-nominated directors behind the short film of the same name, Femme. F-E-M-M-E. They've come from a theatre background, a theatre and acting background, and they wanted to make a film that resonated with them, and therefore they got together and decided to make Femme as a short film. Ping, he's a theatre director, Sam is an actor and screenwriter, and Ping especially had directed in the theatre. So they went from writing shows to writing films. And the difference between the two, how you tell the story with very little words. They talk about the challenges of doing that, challenges of diving in and getting an amazing cast on board for their short film, including Papa Essiedu, who is the star of Genie, which was directed by last week's guest, also another Sam Boyd. Just not to get too confusing. And Sam Freeman's and Ping's short not only starred Papa, but also Harris Dickinson and Theo Barkham-Biggs as well. They got Agile Films on board that. How did they do it? How did they get casting director Daniel Hubbard on board? How did they get the attention of James Rhodes, cinematographer, having no technical knowledge themselves? How did they get Eva Yates, head of BBC, attached and interested and involved? What is it like working as a directing and writing duo? How they felt going from short to a feature and the advice they give you and what they took from that whole process. The feature was produced by Miles Payne, Sam Ritzenberg. Cinematographer was James Rhodes as well. He stepped from the short to the feature. The editor was Selena MacArthur. The casting directors were Julie Harkin and Nathan Toth. This feature version of Femme is out in cinemas now. I urge you to go and watch it. It is fantastic. It was dark, disturbing, brutal. I couldn't take my eyes away from the screen. This film follows Jules, who is played by Nathan Stewart Jarret brilliantly, may I add, who is targeted in a horrendous homophobic attack, which destroys his life and his career. Sometime after that event, he encounters Preston, one of his attackers, in a gay sauna, and he wants revenge. Preston is played by George Mackay in a role that I've never seen him play, and he is stunning in this film. He plays an absolutely arrogant, tattooed up prick, and he plays it perfectly. The film also stars Aaron Hefferman, John McCrae, Antonia Clark, Nima Talagani, and Mo Bar-El, as well as many others. And like I say, it's available in cinemas. This is so hard for a movie like this to make it happen. And these boys have done it with their debut movie. Sam and Ping have smashed their debut out of the water. This is how to make an indie, ladies and gentlemen. Go support, go watch it. It also just won BIFAs last week as well, and I'm sure it'll do well continuing into the next year. We haven't got a release date for when it'll be out on SVOD, but when I've got that, I will let you all know. I was lucky enough, thanks to Signature Entertainment, to sit down with Sam Freeman and Choon Ping, otherwise known as Ping, to talk about how they wrote it, how they directed it, how it came about, and the issues they had along the way. I'm Giles Alderson. I'm a writer, director and a producer, and since it's Christmas coming up, that makes no difference, but I'm the director of feature films such as A Stranger in Our Bed on Sky Movies Now, The Dare, which I think is everywhere around the world, Wolves of War, my World War II movie, and Arthur and Merlin, Knights of Camelot. You can catch those wherever you like. You can catch those now. I'm also the producer of Serial Killer's Guide to Life Repeat and 3-Day Millionaire, which is available on Netflix right now. If you want to support, then do support. Currently at the weekends, I have been writing, not only with Tobias Lees, but with Johnny Grant as well on separate projects. Both are very exciting, and I'm very excited to just write something, to get something going again and be really close to getting it finished. And it's always nice to get feedback. And I think that's what's important in this business, is the people around you and how you can connect and collaborate, and don't feel that you're alone in this industry. You are not. For one thing, you've got us, the Filmmakers Podcast, and all the hosts. We are here. If you've got any questions, please reach out at the Filmmakers Podcast on Instagram, at FilmmakersPod on Twitter, and you can email us, thefilmmakerspodcast@gmail.com, with any questions you have, and we'll do our best to help you. Obviously, we're busy as well, but we'll do our best, because that's what I feel this industry is about. And if you have made a film, or you're trying to make a film, don't hide from other people. Don't go, it's mine, I'm not going to tell anyone, I'm not going to speak to anyone, I'm not going to ask for advice. No, ask for advice. That only helps you become a better filmmaker, because people have learned and done it and made those mistakes. So don't you make all those mistakes. All those people who've made the mistakes before can help you, and hopefully that's what this podcast does as well, is help you so that you don't make the same mistakes that others have made, and you can make an even better film and have an amazing career. That's the point of all this. And since it's Christmas as well, you can get our merchandise. It will arrive just before Christmas if you order it now. Go to our website, filmmakerspodcast.com, look for merch. We've got some amazing t-shirts, mugs and hoodies, beautiful things for that filmmaker in your life or for yourself. Just go grab it and support the podcast at the same time. Though, to be honest, no money comes to us, but you'll be supporting the podcast by wearing the merch or taking a photo holding the mug. There's masks still available. No one wants those though, but they are available if you happen to be shoveling muck or something. That's a perfect promotional moment if you did. But what am I saying? It's Christmas. You should be watching Phil Hawkins's Prancer: A Christmas Tale. That's what you should be doing. It is on Sky Movies. Go watch, go support that excellent man. Prancer: A Christmas Tale. Next week, it's probably on Friday, I'm not sure yet, but it will be the team behind Oppenheimer. Yes, Nolan's Oppenheimer. We have the editor, we have the costume designer, and the hair designer, and the makeup designer of Oppenheimer. And they're all female, and it's amazing. They will be on the podcast for you, probably next week, or on Friday. I don't know yet. It's a busy week. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you're making your films. I hope you're making stuff happen, and you're moving forward in your career right now. So enough of me. Let us get to Sam Freeman and Choon Ping, the directors and writers behind wonderful thriller Femme. Go watch it, out in cinemas now. The sound on Sam and Ping's recording is not amazing, but bear with it, because the things they say are incredible. So stick through any bad sound. And it's free after all, so what do you expect? Hello.
That is bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's such bad lighting. I love it.
Sorry.
No worries, buddy.
We are doing this out of not from home.
Got ya.
We're in a foreign office.
You might say I'm
all of us.
But we are at the Foreign Office.
The Foreign
With
Office.
the new Foreign Secretary.
Yeah, we are being deported, but we did want to do this interview before we are
Totally deported.
before
Yeah,
us to leave the country. We just want to get this in.
Good for you.
It's better than.
Don't worry about it. We can see.
But this is a podcast, right? It's not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to use
Right,
the video.
okay.
Yeah. How are you guys doing though? All right.
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Must be feeling good. I mean, like, everyone's been raving about this film for a while, Femme. It's been really nice. I think the buzz you guys are getting from it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's kind of finding its feet, and it has been very gratifying for sure.
Really exciting.
Can I just pronounce your name right so I don't get? Is it?
Choon Ping, but then call me Ping.
Do people call you Ping?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's actually Choon Ping, but when I first came to the UK, British friends are like, "Can we call you Ping?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. So Choon Ping is your first name. Is your surname.
Surname.
Ping is what we call you.
My
sort of my
colonial name.
Colonial name when you're not deported. Yeah. I love it. Good. So yeah, like I'm part of the BIFA team as well, and that panel, and this the talk and the vibe and stuff of this film was really strong from the off. People were all saying, have you seen Femme yet? Have you seen Femme?
Right.
And that's really nice, I think, in the indie filmmaking world, when people just get on something, get on the vibe of it and go, actually, this is a good one. Really good. And it's a fantastic movie.
Thank you.
It's really tense. It's cleverly made, brilliantly acted, beautifully shot, directed. I was like, fair play, boys. Your debut movie, I was like, look, this is cracking straight out of the gate. I know it's based on your short film, but well done. Really well done. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Good. So let's jump back. Let's talk about how you got here. You know, this became a BBC Films. This became, you know, celebrated, as it were. Still time for it to be celebrated even more. But in terms of you guys, you know, what's your journey? We'll start with you, Ping. How did you start in this business?
I started in the theatre.
Yeah, nice.
So I am a theatre director.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the UK for about 10 years now, you know, working in theatre. So Sam and I were housemates. And when we were housemates, Sam was a screenwriter and I was a theatre director.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we spent lots of time, you know, like watching TV, watching films together and tearing them apart. You know, telling the...
In a nice way, just in a like...
In a constructive, practical way.
Even we loved it. Like, why does this work so much for us? Like, how does it, you know, how...
No. I mean, well, we were just the two of us in our living room.
Yeah.
We were nice about it.
Very, very nice about all those people you're going to be working with.
You know?
Well, hopefully loads of people.
Yeah. In our living room. And then Sam always said, have you considered film or TV? And for the longest time, it just felt like impossible. You know, the thought of it it felt crazy.
Yes.
Before I came to the UK to do theatre, I grew up in Singapore, and I spent 10 years working in Singapore as a teacher, and then I decided that I wanted to get into theatre. So I came over to the UK and then, you know, started in theatre, and already that was like a huge change in my life that I thought, oh God, I don't think I have the will or energy or the luck to do another big change. But it came, you know. Sam and I were talking about working together for a long time, and then, you know, but it was kind of difficult to find a convergence because our lives were so different, our careers were so different. And it was with this film that we finally saw that this was something that we can jump in together and try.
Yeah, that's nice. And for you, Sam, then I suppose it was that encouragement, you know, for Ping to sort of go, look, why don't we do this together? Was that the vibe? What, did you come from a different angle in the first place? Screenwriting, obviously.
Screenwriting. Well, originally acting. Actually, I wanted to be an actor. And I went to drama school and
nice.
Like did 3 years of quite quite intense, quite weird 3 years of, you know, pretending to be animals and.
Yep, I've been there. Yep.
With like
which animal did you go for? Because I cheated.
Find them. I was a hyacinth macaw. Like I remember the day.
A hyacinth one. Nice.
The list that we've been assigned. We've got like zoo passes, and then we had to go to the zoo every week. And I would literally stand outside the parrot cage and like pretend to be one and make the noise, and people would walk past me. But I remember the list going up, and everyone else had like lion or like, you know, bear, giraffe, like, and I had to Google what my animal was. Like, what is that?
What is that?
But so I did 3 years there of like a lot of weird shit.
So you went, okay, well, you did the acting thing for a bit and you were like, I don't know, I quite like writing. Is that how you found it? Did you start writing stuff for yourself?
I started writing when I like had small parts in the plays in third year, and I was sat outside the rehearsal room. I'd started to write, kind of realized I really enjoyed that and got a lot out of it, and also that I felt weirdly so much less excited to graduate than almost everyone else in my year. And that was a little worrying to me, because I think to be an actor, you need to, like, it's such a hard career. And you really, really have to have so much passion for it to keep you kind of throwing yourself at it.
Yeah.
And so I sort of graduated and acted a little bit in French theatre afterwards, but I was writing at home and kind of getting much more out of that. And so started writing plays, short plays to start off with, and then I got a sort of full-length play put on at the Southwark Playhouse.
Nice.
And from that, called Scarlet in 2015, and from that I got an agent, and I kind of always wanted to write for screen. I like love television, and kind of once I sort of signed with her, we started working about getting me into those rooms, and I spent a lot of time like writing on shows. I wrote on some shows and was working on original projects, and was kind of really loving that, but got into a conversation with a producer at a certain point who was talking about a playwright that they had been working with, who'd made he was a manager actually, who had made a film. Like he'd written a play and hadn't put it on, and actually he then directed this film, which I'd really loved. And had asked me if I'd thought about directing. And I think as a writer, it's interesting because the jump sort of makes sense, I think, because when you're writing, when you're screenwriting particularly, you think so much about the vision of what it is. You have to imagine. You have to think forwards into the production process in a way that you don't maybe necessarily always have to think backwards once you're in there. But you spend so much time visualizing, working out the tone. How does it fit together? What does this look like? Who are these people? And creating your own vision for it in order to be able to kind of build something that feels whole. And then you hand it over to a director, and obviously they then come in and they put their own vision on it, and their own tone and their own ideas. And you hope that whatever it was that you imagined at least interacts well with whatever it is that they're imagining. But you often, you see the episode at the end and you might really like it, but it's never exactly the thing that you worked so hard on. Yeah. And that can be, there's an element of that can feel frustrating or a little anticlimactic, or like you kind of have lost the thing that it's sort of there and it isn't. And so that idea kind of took hold. And as Peg said, we've been talking about working together for a while and about film. We'd had a few ideas that either felt more me or more you. And one night we were watching Good Time, the Safdie brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
And we had this conversation afterwards about genre, about the genre of that kind of neo-noir late night thriller. Like when Good Time Uncut Gems had just come out as well. We'd seen that, and we sort of started talking around these films, kind of classic Scorsese movies, a bit of the kind of Nicholas Winding Refn, like stuff like Drive. And there's this kind of genre that we really enjoy consuming as an audience, but also felt sort of weirdly kind of, I don't know, alienated from, excluded as queer men. We felt like that we don't belong in this world, in these stories. And we got quite excited about sort of roughly taking this genre as a starting point and sort of pushing ourselves into it. And that kind of became the starting point of us going, let's make something together.
I love that. That's so great. Yeah, I remember when I was writing plays at the Royal Court, etc., and a director would always come in and direct it because they wouldn't let you direct it, and you'd always sit and go, oh, it's not how I do it. It's not how I do it. So I totally get that feeling of I want to get my hands on the stuff that I'm writing. Now, what was the writing process going like from theatre for both of you to writing for screen? What was the differences you found? Ping, let's start with you.
I think themes are longer in theatre. And one of the big things that you really feel is different is that the limited number of locations, I suppose, in theatre as opposed to film. Of course, in film, you're limited by a budget, how many and what locations you can be in. So, but in general, it does feel like the way you tell a story is slightly different. I suppose my experience with writing, because, Sam comes from writing, I come from directing, and Sam said that, you think forward and you want to direct your writing. And in this, as the director, or at least the way that I've been working, is that you kind of treat the writer as God, and then you try to, you try your best to
not upset them, to make them
to
happy.
realize
Their vision,
realize at least this is something that was important to me. So this was a great opportunity to reach backwards to make something that I want to direct.
Right.
And that was a really, really gratifying experience, because then you get a more complete process of telling the story that you want to tell.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You do. And for you, Sam, that writing side of it, the two of you together, talk us through that process. Did you, because it's difficult to write anything in the first place, but how did you learn knowing, when you should write an action line, or when you should, this is dialogue, actually we can get rid of this dialogue because it's done with a look. Talk us through that process of working together, because, and actually writing screenplays for the first time, etc.
In terms of writing screenplays, going from, as you were asking about, sort of going from plays into play, theatre is also a visual medium, of course, but film is so specifically, and your options on, you don't have close-ups in theatre. You don't have, you can't guide the audience's eye in the same way. And so in theatre, when you're writing for theatre, you carry so much in the words that are spoken. That's how you kind of make sure that, whereas in screenplays, quite often characters shouldn't speak unless they have to, I think, often. If you can tell the story without anyone speaking, then that's sort of the first port of call. And then dialogue comes in when you then need that as an element to bring in. And that's that's a very different way of looking at how you tell a story, I think.
Yeah. And then moving on to Femme, then writing the short, together. Had you written stuff before Femme together? Had you attempted to do stuff before?
No, that was number one.
Impressive. Yeah.
The short, because we originally pitched it as a feature, actually, and the short was always meant to be a proof of concept for a feature, because this idea, we'd watched these films, we'd had this idea, which really was at the beginning kind of the seed of it was, take this genre, make it queer. It kind of like, we were like, we don't know what it is, but there was some rough idea of what the story was at the beginning that's completely not what it has ended up being. But we took it in to the producers at Agile, Sam Ritzenberg and Miles Payne, and pitched the idea to them. There was a previous relationship there, and they really liked it, but told us we were insane if we thought anyone was going to finance us making a feature film, when neither of us had ever made any form of film before.
Yes.
But they liked it enough that they agreed to produce a short film for us. And so, they really they did us such a huge solid.
I mean, that's incredible. You mentioned there about your previous relationship, and I think a lot of our listeners, filmmakers out there, will be going, but how did you get that relationship? Because that's the thing that this industry is about, is relationships.
I mean, I suppose it was worked kind of, all of those relationships were kind of worked over years. Like I said, for me getting into writing, I started in short plays nights, which was something that anyone could enter into. Enough of those that eventually I met some young producers who were setting up a theatre company, and they wanted to pull on a full-length play, and they'd really responded to one of my shorts. Were like, can we turn this into it's sort of weirdly in a way similar to Femme, can we turn this into a full-length play? And from that, from getting that put on, I got an agent, which is kind of the big thing, really. You get an agent, and the agent has the relationships to start off with. They send you in for generals, you meet people, you talk about your ideas, they'll read you have a sample script that you've written to go, here's my TV sample, so you can see what I can do. And off the back of that, you're sent to meet people. And then, sometimes those generals lead to nothing. Sometimes they'll bring you back in when they've got another project that they think you're right for. Sometimes you'll go meet them again when you've got an idea that you think they might be interested in. And you sort of, it took a while of sort of being around and kind of making a bit of a name for yourself as people sort of like the work. And then eventually you've got an idea and you take it in, and you've got enough of a kind of reputation with that producer that they go, okay, we're interested in this and we're going to put something behind you.
Yeah, and I love that Agile did that, because, like I say, so many companies will go, well, do we want to make a short? Do we want to take a chance on these young filmmakers? And it's tough because that's their money. It's their time, their effort. And even though they're saying, oh, we'll let maybe junior producers jump on this or whatever, it's still a lot of effort and time. It's not something they just do overnight. It's a long time prepping it. And let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the prep side of it and getting your producers and learning and going, you never directed on film before, lenses, cameras, working with your DP, which it was James Rhodes on the short.
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through that and sort of your Ping, we'll start with you again. Did you think about how we're gonna, the look of it? Obviously you talked about when it actually comes to it, you're like, yeah, but this location we've got here that we can afford don't look like that. So all those kind of challenges, had you done storyboards, mood boards, rip reels, anything like that? What was the process for you guys?
Are we talking about the short or the feature?
The short for now.
Right. Okay. So crazy story. How we met James Rhodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we say what's up?
No, it's quite a funny story because it's like she could have put 3 films.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we were prepping for the short, and our producer was bringing in people for us to meet. All the heads of departments, because of course we don't have that relationship. Not only have neither of us ever made film before, we didn't come up through the traditional like NFTS. We didn't go to film school, so we didn't have those relationships.
Any relationship.
Yeah, sure. So was this Haley or was it Sam? Your producers?
Yeah, and Haley.
Sam and Haley together.
Yeah. Giving us recommendations, and we met with everyone. And eventually, the DOP who was going to shoot our short film was Molly Manning Walker.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. How to Have Sex.
Recent
alumni.
And that's like
And however, this was during the height of COVID and all the anxiety surrounded. And the day before we were going to shoot, Molly called us and said that she had been on a set where someone else caught COVID, and therefore she was exposed and therefore couldn't do our short.
And her.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Panic stations.
The entire camera team.
The entire team that was going to come on to do the short film for us. So on the evening before the shoot for the short film, Molly introduced us to her friend, James Rhodes.
Yeah. And she said this is the only guy
she would trust
who can come in the night before and he will nail it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we gave him whole references.
Yeah. We made a sizzle reel.
We've made a sizzle reel as well.
You had made a sizzle. Okay.
We made one. We cut one together. It was like, this is the tone, this is the vision, this is the rhythm, this is the feeling of it. And we'd referenced a lot of the films that, we were that sort of genre. Yeah, we met him.
And he turned up the next day.
First time we met him was on the morning of shooting.
So we said, okay.
Wow.
Can we meet a couple of hours before the actual, call and through the shots for the day. And that was what happened for the next 4 days, where we'll meet a couple of hours before the shoot and talk about it and just went into it.
Well, and also the tech recce had gone out the window, but none of his team had ever seen any of the locations. So we had to relight everything was and he literally had Molly's kit that she had ordered. He was it's like a puzzle.
And he was like, I don't know what there is. What is this? Oh my gosh.
It also we lost quite a lot of time. We still, obviously we made it, but there were hours lost even during filming where they were just like, how are we liking this?
But it was just so fascinating to every location that we went to. It was the first time James had seen the location. So you would look at his face and he was just looking around going, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
And it was really, really, both really prepared in terms of the preparation that we did with Molly, but also really, improvisational with James, James and us making up our relationship as we go along.
Yes.
Making the film.
Which is, in a way, I mean, you're kind of thrown in the deep end, right? These things can happen. They happen. You hear these stories and it's horrible. And you must have been thinking, oh my God, the chance to make a short, Agile are giving us this chance. And oh my God, it could be now terrible. And it wasn't. And sometimes these things are sent there to not only test you, but to actually make you better, to think on your feet and not rely on Molly or whoever. You might not have, but also sometimes you can. And someone new, you suddenly have to go, okay, well. And that's a great place to be, that creativity. Oh, it must have been alive in that room, what you were thinking.
I do think we put ourselves in a good position because we really, I think particularly not coming from film backgrounds, we had no technical knowledge, although we sort of put ourselves through like a kind of YouTube film school, lots of Watch Mojo, a ton of Watch Mojo, and just analysis of film, the video essays, and we watched a lot and we found things that were references for us. But we also we sort of went, okay, we don't have technical knowledge, we don't know which lens goes where for what, but we are both, our careers have been about storytelling and we understand how to tell a story. And so we really dug into what are our principles for this film? What are the rules? How are we telling this story? What is every moment about? We went through it beat by beat, visually. What do we need to, what piece of information do we need from this shot? What's a list of things that we need to get out of this scene and how do we show them? And we're really comprehensive with that and talking, perspective.
We wrote down on a spreadsheet,
literally tick off if we get into the edit, have we got all of these, do we have literally do we have Jules smiling because of this at the moment? Do we have a moment where we can see not Jules, it's Jordan in the short, it's a different character. But literally, have we seen this? Have we seen that? Is that there? Have we felt this at any point in any of our, and so that we couldn't, and we knew what, stylistically and all of, so any questions that James brought to us, we were able to kind of come from a very specific angle and answer them and say, okay, these are the rules, we stick to these. And that meant that we sort of built up, I think, a kind of storytelling language between us and him quite quickly, because he knew what the kind of our guiding principles were, I suppose.
I love that. And an amazing cast as well. Dan Hubbard jumped on board to help you with that. And Papa Asiedu and Harris Dickinson. I mean, Jesus, they're excellent. It's no wonder it won, the BIFA Best Short and it nominated for the BAFTA as well. Incredible. What after making that, just because we want to talk about the feature as well, after making that, how did it feel then? Obviously, and I mean that in, it's such a ridiculous question because, I felt great, felt rubbish, don't know. But what I mean is, you've made you've done it and it was a success. It did well. And I know you don't know that at the time, but what did you go, I can do this. I'm going to be a director. I direct film now as well. Was that the feeling you got, or was it just, we got through it? It can be all sorts. It can be a mix, but how did you guys take it?
I think ultimately, yes, that was the feeling. There were different points in first assembly. Remember watching the first assembly? We were we are not film directors. Clearly, we are not film directors.
Always the way, mate. Always, yeah.
And we've been warned by other people. They were like, you will want to run away when you see the first assembly, but there's nothing actually experiencing that for the first time. But
it was numbing when we first saw it.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? It's so awful. You feel like you can't direct for shit. You just go, what have I done? This is awful. It's so strange.
I remember just feeling very embarrassed because I was like, we got Agile to give us all this money and we've got these amazing actors to give up their time to do a short film for two people who never, because they clearly thought it was going to be good, and we're going to have to show all of this crew that came on and you'll do everything as favors and whatever.
Yep.
Show it to them and be like, we're so sorry we wasted your time.
And when did you know? When was the point that, you and Damiri, is that how you pronounce the editor's name?
Damiri.
Yeah.
He always was like, and I always thought he was lying to us, because in the beginning he was like, no, this is going to be good. I can tell. I know. It's all here.
Yeah.
And we were like,
how are we going to shape it? It's because you wouldn't have known. There was no experience of going through that, even making a shot on your iPhone or whatever and just sticking it together. So that must have been fascinating to watch that and go, and coming out the end going, is it good? I don't know. We should show it to people, because that's always the way. You don't know if it's right. You can feel good performances.
And because going back a little bit on your question, after the shoot, at least after the initial numbness and exhaustion, it felt exhilarating. The shoot was exhilarating, nothing like I have not experienced that in my life. The feeling of everyone sort of like converging on a take.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and then the take is over, you come out.
Yeah.
And then it just feels like you are in sync with everyone. You know? It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And
I remember feeling like, and that, like afterwards being like, and on the time being like, oh, I never want to just be the writer again. Like, you know, such a thing, like that feeling of actually like being like actually creating it. You're right. Yeah, it was like a 4-day, and we barely slept, and it was stressful because James went to redo everything, and what's, you know, it's like, and because it was the first time doing it, like, does it cut together? Will it do this? But 4 days of like sort of adrenaline and exhilaration, and then it was like 2 days later that we got shown the first assembly. He got to it really quickly.
Oh, that's too quick. Oh my God, no, that's too quick. Yeah, that's frightening.
At the end of each scene, after the how many takes we got, there was this profound sense of relief that we found it, and it's on film.
It's captured. Yes.
You know, I can't lose that now. You know, I don't need to be afraid whether it will happen again, because it has happened and we've recorded it.
It's you're right, it's magic. I remember my first short I'd made as a director, and that exhilarating feel was just incredible. Let's jump to how you actually turned this into a feature then. So obviously you pitched it to Agile as a feature in the first place. You proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that you could make a short film. You knew how to direct actors. You knew what you were doing. When was the moment when they went, yeah, okay, we're green lighting the film? Obviously, then did you rewrite it? Because again, you've mentioned you changed the name of some of the characters. So was there a rewriting process after you'd made the short to go, oh, this would be more interesting?
I think, as Sam said, like, you know, might be new to film, but not new to storytelling. So what was very clear to us that a story, be it film or whatever, is good because it is as long as it needs to be, no shorter and no longer. So we knew, like, even before we made the short, that the short was going to be its own story. The feature that was going to be, you know, 90 minutes or whatever, will be its own story that will justify its 90-minute runtime. So we knew that, at least in our heads, that we were not going to expand the short. And like, we knew that, you know, again, in our heads, that if you try to do that, it's more often than not, it's gonna feel a bit eked out. It's just repeating lots of story beats.
The short was complete, wasn't it? And often it's true. It's funny because the first thing people ask when they know you're adapting, they're like, "Oh, are you going to do more from before the beginning of the short or after the short?" Well, it doesn't. If that was good for it, then it would have. I guess it would have been in there. We would have done. And actually, we did. There was some bits from the beginning of the short that we cut, so like we don't need to know even this. And so I think what we knew from what we got from the short that was important was this central dynamic, the central chemistry between these two men who are both sort of grappling with their own, in some ways grappling or dealing with their own relationship to gender, sexuality, masculinity, and from very different angles, and what happens when they meet, and in quite an intense situation. So we sort of knew that was where the meat of our drama was, and that's where we wanted to build out from. But we took sort of them archetypally, and then
our initial pitch to Agile for the feature was more a single protagonist.
There was no Preston.
There was no character.
Wow.
After making the short, so fascinated by that relationship between the characters, Papa and Harris, and they did it so beautifully. It really inspired us to go, we want to make a dual protagonist film.
This is where because actually it's funny because on the page of the short, and again, because I think they're so good and they did have great chemistry, you really feel like Harris is sort of, there is a kind of sort of other lead in the film, but actually when you just look at it on the page, he's only in a few scenes. The film, from the halfway point, he's out. So it's not really about him, but the two of them together really sticks in your mind, and partially because they're so good, but it was so clear to us that was was the thing that we would take, and then everything else went out the window. We actually, for quite a while, we were going to change the name, but just because part of it is also for yourself about adjusting your own relationship to it, being like, lose it, forget it, don't. You can get really caught on certain things, and sometimes a name change, like character name changes, were really important to us. And
that takes the longest time to choose. You know,
it does. Character names,
names for video games. You know, you can spend the rest of the entire day.
Yeah,
you know, am I?
I always go on those names websites.
It's a good idea.
I'm like, that's it. That's what he's called.
That's the one. So now you've sort of rewritten it a little bit. You've thought about the two characters you want to work. Then you went back to Agile with it. Was the talk of going somewhere else? Was there a talk of, was anyone else interested?
No, we signed up. Like, we signed up with Agile, and they signed up to it from the shore. I think the was that
they paid for our short.
They paid for the short, and that was sort of our script fee in a way. I mean, it was made, we were then paid separate. It's not our script fee. We were paid properly for the script, but
understood.
Wrote the script on spec for them and took the short as kind of out, because it's. I mean, it's having someone give you the money to make a short is such an incredible, like, that is calling card.
It's so rare. It's so rare. Yeah, it's amazing you did that.
But it was attached to them already, and they were fully committed to going the distance. I think if the short film had not worked out well, then we would still have written a script, and they might have shopped it out to different directors, and that was sort of a deal that we made. Like, it was up to us to prove that we could make ourselves financeable for a feature.
Yeah, and you did that. So you kind of knew you had the green light, or when was the moment? Was there a moment when you went, we're actually going to be making a feature?
First, it was when BBC Film came on board. Of course, the big milestone.
Did you have to pitch to them? Did you go in and pitch, or was it?
No, they obviously they'd seen the short, and they were interested, and then we sent the script, and then we had a meeting with BIFA and the
Yates,
and that, which was an incredible meeting, because she's amazing. She's the most astute dramaturg. Just like, she got it immediately, just like so impressive as a presence in a room, and you were like, we just want to work with you, because she got it so clearly, and her questions were like challenging, but they really like got to the root of exactly what the film was or was trying to be. So because Agile aren't a financing company, so they had money, they had enough money that they could fund a short, but they're not.
Of course. Yeah, they're a great production company, but they don't have millions in the bank to keep making features. They go out and find source money. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a point when financing was firmly on board, and that's when we knew we were making it, and that was quite a wild. It was just before Christmas, wasn't it? And they were like, "This is going ahead." Christmas 2021.
This was kind of around the BIFA and the BAFTA. So the short getting the things that it got really helped.
Yeah, what a great moment that must have been.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer to learn more. See you this summer.
And then choosing your cast here, you've again picked some amazing actors. George Mackay, I've loved for a long time. I think he's just a fantastic actor. And in this, I feel like he excels further than I've ever seen him go. And yet it felt so real and raw and heartbreaking. And Nathan Stewart Jarret, again, he was in my friends, Matthew and Tori Butler Hart's film as well. So I've known about his work for a long time, and really cool cast. It was this, did you audition? I doubt it, but how did you choose? What was the process?
Our casting director was Julie Harkin.
Julie Harkin, yeah.
And she brought us really great options. But for the longest time, we couldn't find the jewels.
Right.
And then we started to think, have we made a character that was unplayable? Because not he has to be a drag queen. Uh, and then after that, he has to go into disguise. He has to put on different he as a persona.
Fit into a gang as if he's been in prison. Yeah, absolutely.
He has to play. He has to play an actor acting something.
Yes. Yeah.
And we will see all that, but at the same time see the root character consistently underneath it all.
And also kind of every emotion on the human spectrum to like quite an intense degree at different points in the film. It really is like there's nothing that he doesn't have to do. So it's such a huge ask.
And because unhelpfully in the script, we didn't provide him with a friend to which he can confide all his deepest, darkest revenge secrets.
Sure.
So that is a form of exposition that we didn't give ourselves. So,
but we were the friend as the audience. I felt like I was the friend he was giving that information to me, which
he was, but he couldn't tell,
articulate it. No, but we got it.
So all has to be done with his face.
Nathan is incredible. There are some there. We used to get really thrilled at the end when we watched. There's certain bits where just like Nathan's eyes, and you're like,
so I mean, going back a little. So for the longest time, we couldn't find the jewels, and then Nathan walked in, and he was it.
He came quite late to the process because he was filming Culprits at the time.
Yeah,
right.
I think there was, and we were so paranoid by that point. But I think there was a feeling of like, you can see his work. You can, you should be able to. You can offer this to him. He can do it. We were like, no one has been able to. Like, we are a little worried that we need to rewrite this character or there's something wrong with it. And then as soon as we met him and he did a take, it was just it was so clearly him immediately. Yeah. It was like huge sigh of relief because it was, you suddenly just saw the character. Like there is a moment where you feel like you meet the characters, which is also quite a weird one because you spend so long imagining them, right? You have this very clear picture of who they are. You see them, you hear them. And then you find the actor comes in and does it. And obviously they are not exactly what you imagined in your head. They don't have, because you imagine something that you've made up. And yet, weirdly, once you found the right actor and it is the person, you very quickly forget what it was that you were imagining they were before. I could not tell you what my vision of the characters was before them.
I think Nathan made it better. Like he was like all through the shoot, he was always saying things like, no, at this point, this wouldn't have happened yet with the character. I think this would have happened. And we're like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And he made the character journey better.
He brings his own,
I love how actors do that. They take something that's on the page in your mind, in your head, and they just put it into their world as well and give it feelings and tendons and arms, legs, everything. And, things that happen to them, that character in the past. And that's wonderful for directors. That must have just been a joy to direct. You're obviously both great with actors. Chat to us about that actor director relationship and what worked for you.
I think the thing about it is I think as a director, we often talked about the actors as being heads of the acting department.
I like that.
Like, every sort of HOD is a head of a department and they have the expertise in their craft. Your job is to bring everyone together and to aid them in giving their best work, and each actor has a different process and wants something different from a director. And your job is to sort, in a way, I think, is to facilitate them and their process and sort of, be sensitive to what that is. And, some actors really like to talk the scene through beforehand. And some actors would much prefer to be like, I've got an instinct on this, let me have a go. And then if it's not working for you, let's talk it through. So you really try to, Ping comes from a theatre background, which is, such an actor-centric medium because they are telling the story. They are doing all the work to tell the story.
And once they're on stage, there's nothing to do about it.
At that point.
So they better like you and you better like them.
Yeah.
Yes, trust and respect.
I come from an acting background, so felt like
feel.
Yes.
And it's really about trying to get the actors to feel like they own the moment and the character.
Yeah, it's about, I think we did a lot of work we always try to bring the film towards them, because ultimately, yes, you have the script and you have your ideas and they are a blueprint, but ultimately all that matters is what you capture on screen. If something's not working, if a moment isn't working for an actor, then you can push to have it on there. It won't, but if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. So I think our approach to that is very collaborative. We try to move towards each other and go, okay, you are now this character, like you are embodying them. A part of you is now in this film. Like, that is, I think that great acting, you are seeing the actor, you are seeing that person, because it's their experience, and they create a character which is a version of themselves that they put on screen. And so you work with them to bring your vision and the story towards what that means to them and how they subjectively kind of articulate that on screen. And I think that was such a huge part of the process. We're working with them about kind of, making the version of the film that was theirs as well.
Yeah. True. And what about the difference between working with James on the short to the feature, your processes in your mind about, making a short over 4 days is stressful, it's hard work, so much to do, but over a feature could be 3-4 weeks. You've got to put, it's almost a different mindset sometimes as well. How did you approach it?
We had prep, which meant that we weren't like meeting 3 hours before the call time to talk every day. Nice. We did meet every morning to do the shot list for the day.
Good. Were there 3 of you or the 2 of you?
There
was one. No, there's 4, because there was Jeroen as well.
Yeah, so it's the 2 of us, James Rhodes, Dickie, and Jeroen.
You're first.
Because we started every day with Jeroen saying, "So, what are you going to cut?"
I love that you started every day with that. Brilliant.
We just didn't have enough time to make the film.
No. Which sounds brutal, but actually, you think back, you think it just meant that you're always justifying each shot, and you're thinking what you need for the story. And
I was proud of the fact that I think because we prepped it so hard in terms of like really understanding what our vision was. And I think that can be a thing with working as a duo, is that you have to discuss every single moment. You have to articulate it out loud.
Yes.
Nothing goes unspoken. Nothing goes. You don't accidentally not think about something, because you have to have agreed on what it is. So you're kind of like, speaking from the same hymn book. And so when it came to, it would come down to sometimes can we lose a scene today, or we need less shots. But we had, I think we always had such a firm grounding of like, okay, what does the story need? Like, yes, this can go, because actually, if this goes, we can shoot this slightly differently, and you will get this story beat is contained over here within this. This shot can be lost because it's not crucial to understanding what's happening here, but this one is, so we cannot lose that. We have to see the car do this, or else it's not going to. You're going to feel like something's missing. And I think I think we had a really rigorous approach to how we decided what stayed and what went, and what we had to push for when we really had to push to keep something.
Although there were some shots that we wish we didn't lose because of the lack of time.
Yeah, of course. So there are always things. It wasn't like we always came out at the end of every day. I mean, those are the days when you're like, that's the ups and lows, and you come away and go, and it's terrifying because you're like, we won't know until the edit. Like, we didn't get this. We ran out of time.
We had really great support from our script supervisor, Tom Moody, who, we will always turn to him by the end of at the end of each shot and say, tell us, will all this cut together to make something
sensible,
logical?
He actually really that was like a trio. He really actually was our closest ally, because you were always next to him. It was very good, like natural chemistry. We got along with him very well, and he's really good, really sharp, very funny. Kind of sometimes when it was really stressful, kept the mood. Like, he
was fantastic. In the house, the Jules house. the place where we sat with the monitors was a tiny little closet. So there's 3 of us squished into it, looking at our monitors. And it was also during the summer, the hottest time period of the year. So yeah, we got really close.
I love it. What have you, I know we've got to wrap up now. What have you learnt from this as directors moving forward to your next film? And I really hope you make another film. But what will you take forward? What were the things from this that our listeners will learn from you?
Because the first thing that came to mind was confidence, actually. Like, I think all of these, I think for us, going into both times,
you hesitated to say confidence.
No. It's in like, because I thought, is that like a lame thing to say?
All right.
I think what I took from it, again, going into first making the short and then the feature both times, feeling sort of on paper like we were underqualified to do what we were doing. No film school, no experience, no. And both times it felt like, is this an impossible this, the idea of making a film feels so mysterious and so magical and impossible until doing it, you go, okay, like having done it, you go, okay, this is, in a way, it's huge and it's difficult and it's all of those things, but it's also quite simple in a way. You just need to know what it is that you are making, what your vision for it is, and you need to be able to communicate that with a great team that hopefully you have around you. And that, we went through every day, and by the time you got to the end of sort of shooting the film, you're like, okay, I understand what this is now. And actually, like, it's not as scary as it maybe imagined it was going to be, and actually, like, quite a lot of fun. And I think it's I suppose the idea of actually, like, I'm glad that we didn't doubt ourselves enough and be like, surely this is impossible for us, and just went for it.
3 things. I mean, I'm sure these are like not surprising things. So 3 things. 1, a really rigorous script. 2, the best crew staff you can find. And 3, really prep. Before you go in.
That crew, that's the thing, isn't it? Because it's like you say that, obviously the directors get all the credit at the end. It feels like that. All of the film, all of it is kind of made by other people.
A team.
Your job is, again, as a director, really your job is to keep everyone is to make sure that the vision is cohesive, that everyone's working towards the same thing. But if you don't have a great team, then you won't have a great film. Like, you need other people to be on top of their game and to bring their craft. And so an incredible team, be it the actors, be it the makeup department, the cinema, every single person on that set,
the first AD,
all of it. If they're not great, then you can't. It's just it's really about finding your team and finding a team that understands what it is that you want to make and feels passionately about it. And
I'm just thinking of the people that we are always in contact with. It is the first AD, the DOP, the costume supervisor, and the art standby, and the script supervisor. There's this holy 5. There's this boy band or girl band of people that you just need to really be on the same page and really like each other and be human to one another.
And communicate. Absolutely. Love it. Listen, you boys are fantastic. I've loved chatting to you. Really cool as well. And what a great film. Signature Entertainment have picked it up, and it's in cinemas on the 1st of December. Well done. Look, honestly, huge congrats. You're nominated for how many BIFAs? BAFTA? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's BIFAs at the moment, isn't it? It's just crazy. Best directors? Come on, bring it on. Well done, boys. Really well done.
It's really nice chatting.
Yeah, really nice. Sam, Ping, thank you very much. I look forward to chatting to you both again soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, boys. That was wicked. Really good.
That was a really enjoyable chat. Thank you.
Yeah, we could have gone on longer. I was like, I'm pleasure, good boys. Good luck. See you soon. Bye. So that was Femme directors Sam H. Freeman and Choon Ping, as you know, likes to be known as Ping. Wow, what a film. What a great directing duo as well. I can't wait to see what they do next. I'm sure you feel exactly the same. The film Femme is out now in cinemas. Literally, go watch it. You're an indie filmmaker, you're listening to this, go watch it, go support. For one thing, but not only that, we should be championing movies like this. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it looks like we've got the Oppenheimer ladies, the team behind Oppenheimer, next week for you. And until then, go out there, make your films, make stuff happen. And if you are lucky enough to rise up and do well in this industry that is difficult as it is your duty to send the elevator back down. We will see you next Tuesday or Friday, as always. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.